This is Andy Purewal for ID Boxing, and I'm joined by Joe Cordina over Zoom. I should add IBF World Super Featherweight Champion over Zoom. Joe, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Andy. How are you anyway?
I'm good, mate. Obviously, it's been a while since we last caught up since that victory over Kenichi Ogawa. Just kind of go back to that night, Joe. Reminisce a little for me. How does it feel to obviously still know you hold that title now?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Obviously everything I set out to do now, all them boxes have been ticked. So yeah, it's a nice feeling to be sort of like people like as you just done, newly crowned IBF world champion. So yeah, it's nice for me, and I've achieved my goal and my dream. So yeah, I'm happy, even though don't feel no different. I still got sent out to do the bins the next day. Went shopping. I'm still doing a painting and coving and decorating in my house. Um, so yeah, no different, mate. But it is a good feeling that I've been able to achieve my goals.
Have you watched the fight back yet?
Yeah, only about 4,000 times. Do you know what? I haven't. I think I've watched it myself, gone back to watch it probably 3 or 4 times. Like for the whole ring walk, seeing the whole atmosphere and whatever else. But I have watched it a lot of times through people tagging me in it constantly, and just reposting. So yeah, it wasn't. How can I say? It wasn't much to see. The
Yeah.
first round was cagey. Second round, it didn't really get started. And like I said, um, in the interviews before, it depends how I decide to come out. If I want to make it cagey, I'll make it cagey. If I want it to ignite, it will be. And at the start, I knew how he was going to play, how he was going to come out. So I'm going to have to box with him. I can't let him keep coming forward and trying to um trying to bully me and send me back to the ropes like he did to Fusili. So I knew I had to be on my toes, make him miss counter, and on the odd occasion go forward. And obviously I got him out of there. So yeah, it was nice. It was a nice feeling.
So that second round knockout, Joe, is certainly up there for potential knockout of the year. Is it for you the knockout of the year so far?
Um, for me, I don't know. It's because I'm in it. It's like I don't want to be biased, but for the occasion, what was on the line, being in my hometown, and the pressure that was put on me because it was in my own town and what it was and what I've said in the past. Yeah, I think with all them adding in, yeah, I think it probably would be the knockout of the year. Don't get me wrong, there's some great knockouts out there that has happened this year, but for me, yeah, and it was the fashion I did it. It wasn't I had a 12 round war or uh, like 8 9 rounds of fucking graft. I've seen a shot, I've seen an opening, I let my hands go, and that's what happened. It was a good night.
Joe, I've seen some comments from Eddie saying that he expects your next fight to be your mandatory title defense against Rakhimov. Is that the plan you expect to see put into fruition?
Yeah, obviously I was hoping to just jump straight into unifications and stuff like that, but obviously I know we got to get mandatories out of the way and stuff. But even though as you win a world title, you normally get a voluntary and then mandatory and all that stuff. But I don't know what's happened and what deals they made. So yeah, I just gotta whatever's there now. I gotta go for. I was hoping to get Shakur, seeing as he called me out after the fight. Yeah, I seen he posted the other day. Watch my mouth as if he's some fucking yeah some king. Listen, he's one of them guys who just goes on social media for reassurance constantly. Um, like I don't need anyone to lick my ass and think I know how good I am. He obviously knows how good he is, but he's constantly reassuring himself on getting reassurance on Twitter and stuff. But he called me out and he's telling like on an interview that I was shouting his name. I've never shouted, as you know, I've never shouted anyone's name out. Um, but obviously when he shouted me out, then I was like, yeah, no problem. Let me have my break and we'll go at it. So I was hoping to get that fight, get the ball rolling with that fight, but he's got to do his mandatory. I got to do mine now. So hopefully both get rid of our mandatories and then move on. Hopefully we have a big fight.
What have you made of the interactions between the pair of you over social media? Are you surprised he's been as engaging with you since you picked up that title?
Um, yeah, no, it's like at the start, yeah, he sort of um he sort of giving me props and saying, "Yeah, I'm the best fighter in the UK, whatever." And then in the same breath, he's like, "What makes you think you're so good? This, that, and the other." Like, yeah, you've unified the featherweight division. You've unified the um, super featherweight division. But you're going on about legacy and this and that, and then you're talking straight away going up to 130. If you're on about legacy, come and take the other belt or other two belts. So like, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that it is soon switched from being giving me props to then saying this, that, and the other. He's just, I don't know. Yeah, it might just be to build a fight. I don't know what his intentions are, but yeah, I just take everything now with a pinch of salt. What I see on Twitter, especially Twitter, is just it's just full of muppets. I just go on there and I see comment after comment after comment, or people just chasing clout. Like, don't get me wrong, you don't need no clout. Um, I'm not interested in social media because I'll be honest with you, if I didn't box, I wouldn't have social media. It's smoke and mirrors, still all of it. But yeah, it's like I said, yeah and no. I'm surprised, but listen, if he wants out of a belt, we've got to sort of start. We got to sort of build the fight a little bit because it is a big fight, that especially in the UK. It'd be a big fight in America, but mainly for him because like I've said, I'm not one to be shouting people out and talking bad about people. So that that side of things, I know that the Americans love all that, and I ain't that sort of guy. So um, yeah, don't get me wrong. If that fight that gets made, and wherever it is in the world, if he wants to play that game in real life, then I'll match him. It's not a problem because I ain't that guy to be just sitting back and taking it. It's not. I'm not that guy. But yeah, listen. Um, Time will tell. Like I said, we got to get rid of our mandatories first before that fight can happen.
Joe, just on Rakhimov himself, he might not be kind of a glitzy, glamorous name, but he's still a very difficult fight. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, he's a very good fighter. I've watched him, so I know how good he is. Strong, fit, comes forward, can box a bit, and he said he comes to win and he's determined to win. So yeah, we seen the fight he had with Jojo Diaz, and it was just they just locked horns and they had it in the center of the ring. But yeah, it'll uh, it'll be an interesting fight anyway. I know that.
And Joe, just moving away from yourself, obviously you saw campmate Ben have a huge fight with Chris Eubank Jr. announced yesterday. Just want to get your thoughts on the fight. You know, from being in camp, did you always believe it would be made?
Um, I was like this. I was like this because there's a big size difference. So I'm thinking, right, have Connor got to go up or is he coming down? And I'm thinking, what's going on? So obviously, where I've been out the gym, for a few weeks, I was like, I was blind. I didn't know what was going on. So when I was on holiday, I spoke to Tony and we were talking and whatever else, and I was like, oh, well, so yeah, it might be happening. And he's like, yeah, we're just trying to sort it and everything else. Obviously now it is mate, and yeah, it's a fight I'm looking forward to. And like a lot of people, a lot of how can I say, there'll be like regular boxing fans that are just or casuals. They'll just say, yeah, Conor will win or Chris will win, and they don't really know the ins and outs, and they don't know. Say for instance, Chris have got to come down to a weight, or Conor got to go up to a weight, or whatever. But that might kill Chris to come down, and then to rehydrate and whatever else. There's all them factors are going to play into come into play, and I think Conor being Conor, explosive, fit, strong, and him, Chris, potentially happening coming down to a weight that's not natural to him. It might be that might be a big factor in the fight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And obviously, I'm going to be back in camp very soon. And I'm just dreading running with Conor on the runs because he's going to be pushing himself right to the limits.
I mean, you just mentioned kind of a weight factor, and I don't think that anything's been put out yet or confirmed. If there's I imagine it will be a catch weight. Previously, 156 was being spoken about, but I haven't seen confirmation of that. Do you know for sure if there is a catch weight at all? Have you seen anything in the group chat at all, maybe?
No, I'm not. I'm not sure whether it is a catch weight. I'm just speaking off thing because I can't see Conor going up all that weight. I can't see it. And I can't see Chris coming down to welter. So it's there has to be a catch weight, but I don't know what it is. If so, I'm just speaking off just common sense. Really, there's got to be a catch weight. So yeah, I'm just it's very tasty fighting it really for just everyone, not even a boxing fan, just everyone, because obviously their fathers and they fought coming up 30 years ago. So yeah, it appeals to not a box. It appeals to public, to every like a rugby fan it appeals to, a football fan it appeals to everyone. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I was just speaking then, and my sister was like, "Oh, can you get me tickets?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I'll be able to get it, but like, they're not going to be just like free. They're going to be a few quid. They're not. It's not going to be not going to be one of them. It's like maybe a winner. It's not going to be that. So yeah, I've had loads of messages this morning. Can you get me tickets? I'm just blanking on.
I don't know who I'm messaging for tickets, then, Joe. If you can't sort me, just want to get just kind of sticking with the weight front. Who do you actually believe it would benefit more then? Conor moving up to say 156, or Junior just dropping down a few pounds from 160?
I would think it benefit. I don't know. It just depends. Like, I reckon it benefit Conor because obviously, as Darren Barker said, he hit the nail on the head. Like, Conor still has to lose about a stone.
Yeah.
If it's at that weight, or around about that weight anyway, still has to lose about a stone. So imagine what Chris has to come and lose. Now, depending on what if there is or what a rehydration clause the next day, I'm not too sure, but just saying, if there is, like, I don't know what potentially there is going to be. What it, like, say if it's £10, it's not a lot of, once you've rehydrated and whatever else, it's not a lot to try and lose that extra, like he said, 160 he boxes at, Chris, to get down to 156. Did you say?
Yeah.
So 156 is that's a lot. Still a lot, especially when you're boxing at 160, coming down to 160, then to lose that extra, it is a lot of weight. So for him to be refueled and feel 100% going into the ring the next day, it will take a lot out of him. So I reckon it'd benefit Conor more, but then you got to ask yourself, can Conor hurt him? Can Chris hurt Conor? Which automatically, he's naturally the bigger fella, so you would assume so. And then you think, can Conor hurt him? Straight off, how explosive Conor is, you would say yeah, but then you've got to think of George Groves is a big puncher, and he didn't seem to affect Chris Eubank. So I don't know. It's a very tasty fight, and it's like every night, like even when it got mentioned a few weeks back, my mind's playing, like I'm thinking, oh, who'd win that? But obviously I'm gonna back my boy. Do you get me, Conor? And with everything coming into play, I'm assuming there's going to be a catch weight. With everything coming into play, I think Conor can beat him. It's a hard fight. It's a hard fight, and it's a dangerous fight. But it's a win-win for Conor.
We know Conor likes to be aggressive. He likes to come forwards and let his hands go, Joe. Whereas with Junior, under the guidance of Roy Jones Jr. recently, he's tried to box a little bit more. But is this one which just, it has to catch fire? It has to be explosive, and it kind of takes people back to when their fathers fought.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, boxing has progressed over the years, and you got a lot more people. It's a lot more technical this day and age. So yeah, first off, you would think, yeah, it needs to catch fire. But then you got a boxer and you got a fighter. Say if you put it like Chris was the boxer, and Conor was the fighter. But Conor can box as well, but so can Chris fight. And whichever way it goes, it will catch fire at some stage. But it might be this case of Chris starting off boxing or Conor boxing and vice versa. But it will catch fire in the end because there's pride, there's legacy behind it, and it's bragging rights. Because obviously, where Chris beat Nigel years ago, it's Conor needs to bring it back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm backing my boy all the way. And I think he can do it, and I think he could. I think he can hurt Chris.
When you say hurt, do you believe he could stop him?
Don't know. I don't know. We never say never. No one thought I would be able to stop Ogawa, but there we go. Like anything can happen in boxing, and the way Conor's been performing, and the way he's progressing, and how hard he's punching. Yeah, why not?
Joe, just final one before I let you go. Obviously, next week you see a former Team GB man and a friend of yours, Anthony Joshua, attempt to reclaim his unified heavyweight crown. Just want to get your thoughts of his rematch with Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think he needs to get this win now to shut a lot of people up. So obviously, where Tyson Fury's come back on the scene, obviously Tyson's an unbelievable fighter. He's come back on the scene and he sort of stole the limelight off Joshua. Obviously, he lost a couple, AJ, but a lot of the greats have lost. So there's no harm in that. But as soon as he lost, everyone's jumped on his back saying, "You shit, you're this, you're that," and I just don't think it's fair. So I think he needs to get a good win next weekend and shut a lot of people up. And I think if he gets the tactics right, which I don't think the tactics he had in his last fight was, whoever put them tactics together was absolutely shocking. Because how can you try and outbox arguably the best boxer in boxing, technical boxer in boxing? So yeah, I just thought that was silly. But yeah, I think strip it all back, go back to how you used to. If it catches fire, fight fire with fire, and put it on him. And I think if he puts it on him for the first 6 and don't let him off the hook, I think he can stop him. Because look at what when Chisora boxed Usyk, he had him hurt in the first couple of rounds. And where Chisora is not as explosive as AJ. He's more like, I'm gonna keep weighing you down, keep plugging away, and I'm gonna get you in the end. And I think with Usyk being as smart as he is and technically as good as he is, I think it was just a bit too much for Chisora. But AJ's a bit different, more explosive, and I think if he can do that for the first 6 and keep that pace, I know it's hard because he's got a lot of muscle and that takes oxygen and whatever else, but I think you have to chuck the kitchen sink at him in the first half, otherwise he's going to run away with it. So yeah, I just hope to God he can do it, and I'll be praying for him. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to the rematch since it got made. So yeah.
Joe, just a final one on it. You'll know him as well as anyone because of the time you'd have spent together at GB. And since kind of going back to Klitschko, I've seen some people suggest that maybe he's become a bit more gun shy, maybe a bit more wary of taking a shot, and especially when you see what happened with the Ruiz fight after that. So, is that something you've seen? Have you maybe seen him be a bit more wary of, taking a punch?
I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because like he's the only one who's gonna know that. Like people, we can say, yeah, you're a big gun shy. Let's say it to me. I might be. I'm gonna say no. Don't be fucking silly, gun shy. I take it every day in sparring. Like he's gonna be taking shots every day in sparring and whatever else. So you'll be seeing in the gym. It's just like some people. Who can I compare it to? I can't think, but like if someone's throwing a shot at you, you're gonna try and move out the way. You don't really want to be hit. I don't want to be hit. Let's get that straight. I'm like that's why I haven't got a mark of it because I don't like getting hit. In sparring, it's different. I've got a head guard on and they're using big gloves, but no one wants to get hit with little 8 ounce gloves or 10 ounce in his case. No one wants to get hit. So it's like, yeah, people say, oh, gun shy, this, that, and the other. He'll only know if he's scared of getting hit. But like I said, everyone in boxing, you don't want to be hit. So yeah, it's just it maybe look that way, but he's just trying to get out the way of shots. Who knows? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's not long now, and I just hope to God he can get them titles back, get a good win in fashion, maybe stop him, and draw Tyson Fury up for a big fight, which the whole world wants to see, not just like boxing fans. The whole world wants to see. You got the two, arguably the best fighters, heavyweights in the history. So yeah, I just hope he gets a win.
Right, Joe, we will leave that there now, and I'll leave you to obviously get on with the rest of your day. I've kept you for a bit longer than what I said I would, but I appreciate
He's in the window. He's in the window, giving me evils.
Mate, it's because you've got to do two. He's doing two people's jobs at the minute. But
Yeah,
like I say, I appreciate your time. Thanks for speaking to me and ID Boxing.
no problem. Thank you, bro.